jar of pickles.
Are you a dill girl? Like, what's your
Yes.
favorite kind of pickle?
Garlic and dill.
Yeah.
Or like even like a spicy garlic and dill.
Ooh.
But it's got to be sour and it's got to be savory. I don't fuck with sweet
Sweet?
pickles.
No, you don't fuck with sweet gherkins.
No. Bread and butter pickles can suck my dick.
Wow.
It's not like, honestly, I eat the bread and butter pickles, but every time I bite into one, not knowing which it's going to be, and it turns out to be bread and butter, I'm so sad.
It's like a betrayal.
Yeah, it's a betrayal of the pickle.
Pickle betrayal. I like all pickles. I like bread and butter, but I will say I prefer dill over sweet.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at a sweet pickle. Matt's brother Chris actually makes his own pickles, and it's super fun. You should make your own pickles.
I would love to. I saw it on the internet how to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah.
I could do it.
Yeah, you totally could do it.
Yeah.
You just need one of those cool, like, mason jars.
Yeah. I just need more mason jars and more sterilizing equipment in my life.
Right. Don't we all?
Don't we all? Friends, this is Witchcast.
Yeah.
And you are welcome.
Welcome to Witchcast.
Welcome to Witchcast.
'Cause it's Witchcast.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Emily.
And we're your hosts of the Witchcast Podcast.
Yes, we are your co-hosts of this, the Witchcast Podcast, a podcast all about being a baby witch.
Yeah, we're novice witches wanting to learn more about everything under the witchy, occult, pagan, etc. umbrella. Mm-hmm. And we're taking you along in our learning journey. And sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we just talk to each other about different subjects.
It's true. That is exactly accurate.
And sometimes we tell stories.
Yeah,
that's our newest format.
Yeah, we have a new format. We did it once before. We're doing it again today. We're telling stories.
I'm so excited.
Witch history. Witchery.
Yes. I love it.
Herstory.
Witch history.
Witch history.
Worcestershire sauce.
It is Sunday night, and we
here.
are fine.
We are great. I also want to just point out how I'm so proud of how flawlessly we just like went into that intro without any kind of.
Yeah, we
didn't even. We were
sailed right in.
We're right on the same.
We're doing it.
Wavelength. Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. We're making very intense eye contact right now, and I love it. And I'm also scared.
Guys, today we're telling stories.
Yes, we are telling stories. Emily and I each prepared our own story.
Yeah, neither of us has heard the other person's story.
Correct. Very
and we're just going to tell them to you.
Yeah, and hopefully
our listeners.
You know, and you suggested this to kind of help provide a bit of a deeper dive into a more specific area or subject, because a lot of our episodes have been kind of,
have been necessarily surface level.
Right, because there's so much info, as we've learned. There's so much that goes into every little topic that falls under this subject matter.
And we thought this would be a fun way to do like a deeper dive on some of those things, or like on particular individuals and different things that we've researched. And then also, like, who doesn't love a story?
I love a good story.
I love a good story.
Yeah, me too. Stories are the best.
This
is like our 201 level class.
Right.
Like you should take our 101. You should listen to our 101 level, topics. But yeah, these are deeper dives. Yeah. And it is more fun to also focus on one singular event or one singular person in history and kind of really look at it from that perspective. Because you're right, there's so many times where I'm like, oh my God, how do I talk about the entire fucking history of tarot or numerology or astrology? It's just overwhelming.
Yeah. We're just enjoying ourselves and talking witch stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully you're enjoying it as well.
Yeah. And if you hate this, don't tell. Let us know.
Sorry for you.
Yeah. Just skip to the next one, I guess.
Just go listen to something else. It's fine.
I mean, the next episode of Witchcast.
Right.
Don't be listening to something else.
No.
What are you, crazy?
I'm so sorry. Yes, I meant listen to something else of ours.
Yes.
And then give us a 5-star review.
Anyway, Kate, I think it's your turn to go first.
It is, because I totally... passed the ball to you last time. Yes. I won the coin toss and then was like, Emily, go first, because I was nervous. But I feel less nervous now that this is our second one, so I'm happy to go first.
Wonderful.
So today, rubbing hands together, I am going to be talking about, as much as I can tell, the true-ish story of Tituba, the infamous slave during the 1962 Salem witch trials, that kind of her confession. Sorry, 1692. Emily just gave me this face of like,
how about you just take that one again?
That was beautiful. No, please keep it in.
Okay.
During the 1692 Salem witch trials, I did a lot of research, guys. Her confession kind of was a huge breakthrough and kind of spurred and ignited the fire, if you will, of the subsequent trials and confessions and killings that happened because of that on our dear American soil. Because we're not going to talk about the European witch trials at all. This is purely just focused on Tituba. Great. And everything about her.
Love it. Can't wait to hear all about her.
I know. I was looking up different famous witches to kind of dive into, and she was, of course, one of the first ones that popped up. And the more I read about her story, the more fascinated I was. And I was like, I'm just going to do this. Let's just get this big one out of the way right now, out the gate.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So here's some of my sources. There's a Vice article by Christabel Hastings that's really great. That kind of first spurred my interest. There's a Smithsonian article by Stacy Schiff that's really lofty, but an interesting read. A History.com article by Aaron Blakemore. All That's Interesting article by William DeLong. History of Massachusetts blog by Rebecca Beatrice Brooks. There's also an episode on another podcast, the Deviant Women podcast, which I just discovered. And they both have these like, God, I don't want to be offensive. I don't know where they're from. It sounds like New Zealand or Australia.
Fun.
But their accents are beautiful, and I just really enjoy listening to them talk. And it's also a well-done podcast. So they also did an episode on Tituba that I listened to, and then also, of course, our dear friend Wikipedia. So those are all the tabs that are open on my screen right now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping them open.
Because there's so much about Tituba that's really hard to decipher what's true or what's not, right? Obviously, she's a character in, Arthur Miller's The Crucible. She's also in a lot of pop culture from leading up to modern society and today. But there's a lot of myths and lore and gossip and different accounts. And of course, all of the actual accounts from that time were by racist white dudes. So it's hard to tell. Really, we don't know too much, honestly, about her and the true origins. But we're going to be focusing today mostly on what historians believe to be true and her big confession that's made her famous.
Rad.
Yeah. So who is Tituba? Like I said, she was a pivotal part of the Salem witch trials. She's also a big character in The Crucible, also in Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's play entitled Giles Corey of the Salem Farms that was published in 1868. She's also featured. She's also the subject of several novels and other books and TV shows like Salem and An American Horror Story, Coven. And she's even in video games.
Yeah, I'm so excited because I feel like I've heard so much about her, but I mostly know her as like an allegory for other things or like the pop culture version. Right. And
that's also why I really wanted to look more into her, because I think our girl's been done dirty. Like Morgan Le Fay. I mean, the biggest misconception, I think, is like that she was a black slave. And actually, a lot of historians, which I'll get into this, don't believe that's the case. Huh. And I think all the circumstances surrounding her confession and the Salem witch trials themselves are fascinating. Mm-hmm. And I think the psychology of like what that was about is also fascinating. So backing up, we're in the 1690s in Massachusetts. What we know is that Tituba was a slave owned by the minister Samuel Parris of Danvers, Massachusetts. By the way, I did not realize this. The Salem witch trials actually took place in several towns all through New England area in Massachusetts. It wasn't just Salem itself. There was a Salem town. There was a Salem village. Yeah, so it wasn't just one place back then. And she became, like I said, a pivotal figure in the infamous Salem witch trials with her lengthy and detailed confession of witchcraft that some say became the main catalyst for the New England witch frenzy that ensued and set the groundwork for other confessions of people that were subsequently accused after her. But she was kind of one of the first OG witches that were accused and put to trial. In the words of the occult historian Elaine G. Bracelaw, she basically provided the essential legal evidence required to begin the process of communal exorcism to purge the community of its collective sin.
Dang.
So in terms of her origins, there's very little known. Despite the fact that she's often depicted as a black woman of African ancestry, she was most likely actually of native South American descent. Huh. So Braceslaw, the historian I just mentioned, she actually has traced Tituba's parentage to an Arawak-speaking group in the northeast coast of South America, which is now present-day Venezuela. Oh. Yeah. So I didn't know what are Arawaks. Arawaks are a group of indigenous people of South America and the Caribbean. So specifically, the term Arawak has been applied at various times to the Locono of South America and the Taino, I'm mispronouncing all of these and I'm so sorry, who historically lived in the Greater Antilles and Northern Lesser Antilles of the Caribbean. So I love this. Wikipedia says, Braceslaw partially blames Charles Upham, who got false information from Samuel Drake, for the confusion. And I just love that sentence because it just reminds me of high school gossip. And that's basically how.
Is it like the Taino, like Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I guess that, yeah.
T-A-I-N-O?
T-A-I-N-O, correct. With a little, like, tilde over the I.
Yeah. They're really cool people, and you should for sure look them up. I was weirdly in a musical reading about them one time.
Oh, cool. I don't know. Gosh, I know very little, honestly, about a lot of indigenous cultures, and that's something I really want to learn more about.
Yeah, there's so much to learn.
Yeah, there's so much. And I talk about people who've got done dirty in history.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. And I think, like, the point about her race, though, is important. Like, why there's so much debate about it, because it's a cultural context. I think it points to our history as, you know, as Americans and our, you know, the Puritan race's kind of beliefs, her actual standing in her society where she was at that time and place, but then also how her story and image has changed over the years is really like something to look at in terms of like race hierarchy in America. Like, of course, like in post-Civil War America in Arthur Miller's play, she's black because that's what a slave was back then, you know, like.
Right.
Well, I mean, Arthur Miller was in the 50s, but you know what I'm saying.
Like, or that's the idea of what a slave would be.
Exactly. And so either way, we know that she was a woman of color, she was a slave, and she had no societal standing or power whatsoever, which I think is really important to keep in mind given what happened.
Yeah. And it's also, I mean, I'm sure you're going to talk about this, but I think I read that, like, it's relevant in that some of the things that the kids reported she was doing were from those cultures.
So we'll talk about that, but I think what's really definitely. From what I could tell, there were accounts or hints of, you know, the idea of Vodou, which of course they called voodoo, or kind of Yoruba-based like practices that she was teaching them from her homeland of Barbados, which I'll get into, but like there's actually no evidence of that, and actually her confession really comprised of mostly European traditions.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
Oh, I can't wait to hear more.
Yes.
I'll let you talk.
No, you're doing great. So Veda Smith Tucker, who's another historian who wrote this book, Purloined Identity, The Racial Metamorphosis of Tituba of Salem Village, wrote that being perceived as both African and Indian served not to diminish but to intensify the satanic stigma attached to Tituba and to heighten fears and fantasies that Puritans projected on her. Whoa. So, yeah, I mean, like, that's basically it. Mm-hmm. So, going back again to her origins, there's a high demand of indigenous household slaves to relieve the labor crisis in Barbados at the time. So, Braceslaw, the historian that we mentioned earlier, she posits that it's likely that Tituba and her husband, who we'll also talk about, were captured on a kidnapping expedition and taken into service before they were purchased by the Reverend Samuel Paris, who was then a merchant. Yeah, of course, so bad.
Right. I mean, there's no good slavery. It's not like anyone was like offered a job.
Right. It's just really sad because I read a few different accounts, honestly, about this time in her life of like how did she become basically a slave in the Paris household, and you know, some sources mention her husband, and then that they then had a daughter. Some don't mention the daughter at all. According to one source, she was barely in her teens when she came to Massachusetts with two other slaves that were owned by Samuel Paris, who was then a merchant, and then he like became a minister later. He then married in Boston and took a position as minister of Salem Village in 1689, where he moved Tituba and his family. Meanwhile, at some point, they think maybe Tituba and Paris' other slave, who was named John Indian.
No.
He was Native American, allegedly married. So the timeline's messy. We don't really know. commonly she's viewed as like this gnarled old hag. She's portrayed as this really gnarled old hag, which we know in history, right, loves to paint witches that way. There's also a really popular illustration that was all over all of my sources that was done by John W. Enninger. Anyway, he did it in 1902. So he has this illustration of Tituba, and she looks like a witch, like what you would imagine a Disney witch to look like.
He was drawing her in 1902, like 250 years later, just like, what do I think this
Exactly.
person?
So
that's like me drawing Samuel Champlain from what I think he might look like.
Who's that?
Oh, he was an explorer in Canada. I guess I accidentally Canadian history. I'm sorry.
Oh, Emily, we didn't learn anything in my school.
He was from France. He did a lot of the coming over to North America.
Is he the one that Lake Champlain's named after?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's a great comparison. That's exactly what it's like. If you were like a racist old white dude, and in reality, she probably actually was more in her teens, early 20s when all this shit went down. So, with the Paris family, she was really, as far as accounts could tell, like a member of the family. She went to church with them. She, she like took, cooked their meals, like created their meals. She fed them, like she took care of the young children. She, some accounts even have her like sleeping in the same room next to the young girls of the family.
Right, so, because if she didn't, they would kill her.
Exactly. No, she was definitely.
Sorry.
No, you're not wrong. Like, and I think that's really important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think there's always these like depictions. I mean, and maybe some people did feel tenderly towards like kids that they took care of or whatever, but it's a lot of like she really was part of the family.
But it was not her choice.
Like, not intentionally.
Right. I guess I only say that because like they a lot of the sources kind of, I think, point this out as in a sense of being like how crazy that like she got turned on so quickly and kind of was forced into this confession and was accused of witchcraft by, but of course, as we know in history, like families that owned slaves did not give two shits really at all. Right. She's forced to. Yeah.
I'm going to eat a piece of cheese. I'm so sorry.
Do it. Oh my God. Cheese it up.
Guys, I talked in my sleep last night about how much I wanted cheese.
Which is the best Emily thing ever. Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
I'm glad that you're listening to your subconscious. I think that's really important. Okay. So she was a big, obviously very integral to the family. And also, so this also ties into then the actual events that went down. Mm-hmm. So Samuel Paris had a daughter, Betty, who was 9, and his niece, Abigail, who was 11. Mm-hmm. In Arthur Miller's play, they're like sexy 17-year-olds with lots of sexuality.
Right, which is such a different thing.
Yeah, that's so gross. And no, that's not how it was. They were children. So they, apparently, I also heard or read in some of my sources that Abigail, his niece, he was taking care of her because her parents might have been killed by natives. Ew. So that ties into, again, kind of this like underlying, not so underlying tones of racism going on. But then here's where the witchiness starts, and it gets kind of confusing because there's a few different accounts of what went down. Account number 1. The girls were playing a fortune-telling game with Tituba, where it involved dropping an egg white, in some accounts an egg yolk, into water and then trying to infer some divinatory messages, i.e. like also the faces of their future husbands, which is what that Limpia practice that we talked about.
Yeah, I'm nodding.
In our what was it, Love Spells episode we did that one in? Protection. Wasn't it Protection?
Might have been Protection.
Anyway, in one of our past episodes, I talked about doing limpias, but it's also a European tradition. I didn't know this. It derived from like the Druid and pagan practices during Samhain, where you could take egg whites and drop them in hot water, and then however the egg whites cooked, you could infer kind of future. So these eggs being used as fortune-telling devices were used in kind of pagan-y occult practices across cultures. So apparently the girls saw coffins in their glasses and then started barking like dogs and breaking into mass hysteria and just kind of freaking the fuck out.
What the fuck?
I know. So some, again, like there's so many different stories about this. So some accounts is that Tituba was helping them with that. Some accounts say she wasn't doing anything. The girls were doing it on their own. And then Tituba got kind of called in to help these girls because they were freaking out and in hysterics. And Mrs. Paris was like, hey, will you please bake a witch cake to help these girls stop being possessed or whatever. And a witch cake, which is also a European idea. It comes from Europe, not from anywhere in the Caribbean or South America. It's made from rye meal and the urine of those who you believe to be possessed.
What the fuck?
And some accounts say that she fed it to the girls. Some accounts say you're supposed to feed it to a dog. And then if the dog reacts in kind, then you know it's witchcraft. But a few accounts said she fed it to the girls themselves. Because it's supposed to help cure the possession, I guess.
That's wild.
Yeah. So Samuel Paris, finding out that Tituba did this, beat her and was trying to force her to confess that witchcraft, that she was the one behind all this, and that's why the girls were having this very strange behavior. She apparently, confessed to making the witch cake because Mrs. Paris asked her to, Elizabeth Paris asked her to, but that she had done nothing else.
Right.
Because she knew, again, she went to church. She knew the scripture. She, obviously, as a slave was not allowed to be educated, but it's very clear in her, in what happens, that she knew what was believed right or wrong within the church, this Christian church, right? Another account believes that that Betty and Abigail started to just have fits and convulsions. There's no mention of this egg fortune telling at all. But around in the early 1692, they just started to kind of have these muscle spasms.
Like tetanus or something.
Right. And the symptoms spread and became more pronounced. Some people complained of bites and pinches. It kind of spread through the village. Later, I also read that some historians believe that these fits could have been caused by eating some kind of bad fungus.
Right.
It could have just been purely, I forget the specific strain, but symptoms can include muscle spasms.
Yeah, just a bullshit coincidence that
right.
sucked.
Yeah, and the whole town ended up getting the same food poisoning because you're in a small village. Why not?
There's 12 of you. You're all eating the same cheese out
Exactly. So, friends of the Paris girls, Anne Putnam and Elizabeth Hubbard, complained of visions and hallucinations. Again, doctors could not find anything medically wrong with any of those girls, so they suggested a supernatural cause. And I guess one of the girls then admitted to some sort of fortune telling, so the hunt was on for whoever bewitched these poor white girls. So Tituba and Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne were all sent to jail in Boston to await trial and punishment on March 7th, 1692. During this time, this was not the very first kind of witchiness trial thingy that happened. The tension had been going on for a little while. As far as I know, this court case though with Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba was kind of the big main court case that confirmed what officials believed was happening.
Yeah,
but they hadn't yet been able to pinpoint it until this point. And of course, the people that were targeted during these witch trials were people who were easy to scapegoat. Right. So people of color like Tituba and also other marginal members of society. Sarah Good was a beggar who had a lot of financial instability and debts and was looked down upon. There's also records that said that she might have had mental illness of some sort.
No.
Sarah Osborne also lived on Salem's margins. She was involved in a dispute with her children over their dead father's estate. She also was rumored to have an affair with an indentured servant. So all three of these women were kind of perfect targets for accusations of deviant and evil behavior.
Right.
And despite the confessions that then Tituba went on to have, there's no proof at all. There's no physical proof that she did any of the things which she confessed to.
Yeah.
So let's talk about her confession. So she was already beaten, as we know that she was beaten. Most likely, we know, she was probably beaten by Paris quite a bit before she was then turned over to the police or whatever constable. I don't know, whoever was in charge of these witch trials to the authorities. She was beaten by Paris, and she was in jail already, and she's probably beaten even more in there. So again, a lot of this we'll talk about. I'm not sure is her being led, to say these answers. Her just, trying to avoid the worst punishment of death, or just what we now know is just forced confessions.
Yeah.
So, in trial, she was questioned by Hawthorne, who was leading the trial. He asked whom they employed to hurt the girls. And I love it because she says that the devil came to me and bid me to serve him. It was indisputably easier for her to admit that she served a powerful man than it might have been for her fellow prisoners, who are both white women. The Smithsonian article says, in custody, one scoffed that the word of a smooth-talking slave should carry no weight. She was right about the smooth-talking part, miserably wrong about the rest. Yeah, the Smithsonian articles. A real piece of work. It's great. Basically saying, like, I think, Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne were like, they denied it. They were always like, no, not us. We didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And I think they kind of laughed at the idea that a slave, would have any kind of weight in a courtroom. And they were, of course, very wrong because she did. She had her confession actually had quite a lot of power.
Well, when you tell people what they want to hear.
Exactly. Right? So when Hawthorne demanded who was it who tortured the poor girls, verbatim, Tituba's answer was, the devil, for all I know. Which I think is so funny, because to me that seems like her being like, I don't fucking know.
Right.
But then she goes on to actually describe him, and everyone's like, the room is full of, Puritans.
Yeah, like scandalized
Yeah,
Puritans.
like these pure, poor, scandalized, white people just being like, look at this.
People with names like Judd Coleman. People that find mayonnaise too spicy.
Exactly. No, that's the work of the devil. Thou shalt not make emulsions.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Just say 4 Hail Marys. You'll be fine. Anyway, so she went on to go and tell this amazing long story that took place over several days, honestly, of questioning, which also you could argue is torture in and of itself, like a form of torture, right? Like making someone sit on the stand for that long. And then, but she introduced this kind of whole slew of characters, basically, that came to her, that, forced her to perform this witchcraft on these poor young girls in the village. So she talked about a tall, white-haired man in a dark coat that appeared, who traveled from Boston with his accomplices.
Well, that part adds up.
Yeah, right. Which also I love, because in some of the sources, some of the sources said that it freaked the men out of the council because she was describing a man that looked like them. Mm-hmm. And how terrifying is that? And when it's funny, because then in subsequent accounts later on over time, slowly turned this man from a white-haired white gentleman to a darker-skinned man.
Huh.
Yeah. So
who lives, who dies, who tells your story? Am I right?
Yes. Well done. Okay, so apparently this man, this devil messenger, he ordered Tituba to hurt the children, that he would kill her if she did not. Hawthorne asked, did the man appear to her in any other guise? So she starts listing some familiars. She talks about a hog. She talks about a big black dog. She talks about a red cat and a black cat. In some of my sources, they say red rat and black rat. So that's conflicting. We don't know. I couldn't tell if it was cats or rats.
Okay.
Which, also a yellow bird, which in some accounts she insinuated was the familiar of Sarah Good. And another animal turned up too. She couldn't really describe it, but she tried, which was super fun. She said that it has wings and 2 legs and a head like a woman.
Oh.
Yes.
An owl. Go on.
Some sources said that then that was she inferred that was Sarah Osborne coming to her in that form. Yeah, to me, when I heard that, the wings and the 2 legs and the head of a woman, it reminded me of those mythological kind of, God, what's it called? Not a griffin, but there's mythological creatures,
like the ones, like the really funny medieval paintings with
exactly.
It's just a wings and a crushed white person face and like talons for some reason.
Exactly.
And then like maybe tits.
Yes. That's exactly what I was picturing. And I think she probably was picturing the same thing.
Yeah. That would be her shared cultural context. Maybe if she'd seen art for some reason.
I mean, maybe in one of the scripture books or something that she was reading. I mean, the thing that's so crazy is that she also talked about riding on broomsticks. Riding through the town with Sarah Osborne and Sarah Good on broomsticks. That she went around and pinched the different girls in the village. She also talked about a coven of witches that lived in Boston. But all of the stuff she talked about was pointing to European practices and superstitions and beliefs. Mm-hmm. None of it actually had any kind of Caribbean influence or South American influence at all, as far as I could tell. And a lot of the sources point this out too, of like, where did she get this information? Yeah. Like, the thing is that I think is fascinating. It's like, was she led to say these things, or did she know kind of what they wanted to hear and told them what they wanted to hear in order to save her own life?
Yeah, I mean, if she just straight up questioning for a while, they probably were like, "Did you ride on any broomsticks?"
Yeah, and then she's like, "Okay, yeah, I am." Sure, whatever.
In which case, she has a great memory.
Exactly. I also wonder if she was just straight up trolling them. Like, my first instinct when I started researching this was like, "Oh my god, this bitch knew exactly what she needed to do to get out of this alive," and instead it's just straight up troll all these stupid white people who had enslaved her, owned her, and forced her and accusing her of witchcraft. She was like, fine, I'm going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. I'm going to tell it in a really, really fascinating way. I'm going to spill some hot tea and then get the fuck out of Dodge.
I don't want to spoil the end, but does she get dead?
We don't know. Well, no. Okay, so she doesn't get put to death. Okay. She's not hanged. She is out, so I'll get there. Anyway, I also think going into why also I think her confession was so groundbreaking was because of who she is. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne vehemently denied any kind of wrongdoing. But here we have a woman of color who also looks so different, right, according to what these Puritans believe and are surrounded by. She's a slave. She's already at the bottom of this totem pole, and she has might have had an accent. The transcripts of the court, have her kind of speaking a more stilted English. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sure it captivated an audience, and how better for them to latch onto something that they believe to be weird and foreign and evil or whatever than by this strange dark-skinned woman,
Yeah.
She I feel like she used what she could to, you know what I mean? She was like, cool, I'm in this situation. I'm going to do what I can.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm a witch. Sure.
So this was the longest of all of the testimonies during the Salem witch trial. She fielded no fewer than 39 queries on that one Tuesday.
God, it's like Benghazi all over again.
Exactly. So she delivered on all of the Hawthorne's leading questions. If he mentioned a book, she could describe it. If he inquired about the devil's disguises, she could provide them. A lot of people point out that she was really good at being specific, but also really vague. So indeed, she had glimpsed the diabolical book, but she could not say if it was large or small. The devil might have had white hair. Maybe he did not. There were many marks in the book. She could not decipher the names other than the other two women that were already under arrest. So, she was really good about kind of, telling them what they wanted to hear and feeding into their leading questions without kind of further implicating anyone else outside of what the existing trial, and also not really getting pinned on telling a lie.
Yeah.
So anyway, at some point, I love this. There was one point where she just could not continue. I don't know if she kind of got caught in a line of questioning or she just kind of got tired, but she feigned blindness. She just said all of a sudden in the court, I'm blind, I can't see. The devil's punishing me for telling all his secrets, and just pretended to be blind for a little while just to get out of questioning for a bit.
Oh, that's great.
Which I love. I think that's great, and I want to try that for jury duty at some point. I'm blind. I am blind now.
The devil is punishing me.
So with her testimony, the officials gained all the evidence that they needed, that the satanic influence in the village was real, and that they could start convicting other people of witchcraft. So why? And then what? is the title of this next section that I have. Like we said, she was a slave with no social standing, no money, no personal property in the community. She had nothing to lose by confessing. And she probably knew that a confession could save her life. According to the Vice article, Tituba had composed the perfect Puritan confession because she repented after she made this confession. And according to Puritanical law, they couldn't justify then killing her. If you confess and then say you're sorry, you're pretty much absolved.
Sick.
Yeah, fucked up. So I also wrote trolling ? Because I also like the idea of her just straight up trolling everyone. Because since Tituba confessed, her case never went to trial, and she was spared the gallows. According to the book Tituba, the Reluctant Witch of Salem, she remained in jail, but as the witch trials continued, she retracted her confession. And then by the fall of 1692, just a few months after this trial, up to 185 witches and wizards had been named. 185 people had been accused of being witches and wizards, and we know now like 19 were killed because of these trials. Despite her confession on May 9th of 1693, the next year, a grand jury declined to indict her due to a lack of evidence. So she still spent 15 months in a crowded Boston prison, which is awful.
Yeah.
But it's also because Paris was pissed at her for recanting her confession after she confessed and refused to pay her bail because he's a fucking dick, and we know this.
Right.
In an interview with Robert Califf from his collection of papers on the trials titled Wonders of the Invisible World, being an account of the trials of several witches lately executed in New England.
God, I love their old naming.
I know. Trials is also spelled with a Y, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Tituba confirmed that Paris had actually beaten the confession out of her when this all first went down and then coached her on what to say when she was first questioned.
Paris.
Exactly. So this whole confession could have just been because her quote-unquote master beat the shit out of her and told her what to say. Point is, we'll never really know, but she never did get hanged for this. She did spend 15 months in prison, but then in April 1693, this person also wrote it wrong. She was sold to an unknown person for the price of her jail fees that were not paid by Paris. And then after that, she disappeared from historical record. We don't know actually what happened to her after this.
Maybe the devil bought her out.
I know. I really like the idea that like either her husband John Indian or but apparently he also was one of the accusers in the trial. But I like the idea that someone had it out for her and was like, "Hey, I got your back. Let me pay your bail, and we're gonna go run off together, or I'll let you go live your life."
Someone was holding a torch for her.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
that would be nice. I will choose to believe that.
Yeah. Historian Smith Tucker that I mentioned earlier said that it was probably unlikely that she was permitted to re-enter society. But I like the idea that she went off into the woods and
move to New York, get famous.
Yeah, exactly.
Change your name.
It's a land of dreams.
Or just build a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, just live out the rest of your days free and
that'd
isolated.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but nice.
I know. I'm not sure, but either way, she didn't get hanged from the trials, which is cool.
Good. Yeah.
And I think she was really smart, honestly. I mean, the way that she went about it. She saw that
and
denying
it was
not
to be a teenager who's a slave who's accused of witchcraft. Right. You don't have a lot of good options here.
No, there's no options. Yeah. So that is the story of Tituba.
Yay.
As far as I know.
As far as I know.
As far as I know.
That should be the disclaimer on everything we do. And that's everything you need to know as far as we know. Okay, my turn.
Yay, I'm so excited. Now I'm just going to sit back with my wine and listen. Oh, wait, real quick. I do want to say that, just going back to Tituba real fast, I think some people kind of blame her for the trials and that ensued after her confession. Yeah. But I honestly think that she just was someone who's doing the best that they could in the circumstances they were given. You know, I don't think she was responsible at all for this kind of mass hysteria that happened during the 1690s. And
the fact that people went
New
nuts.
England,
was going to happen anyway because it was already happening all over Europe.
Exactly. It was already happening. It was already happening in New England as well. So, I think she did what she had to do and was forced to do, Yeah,
she was a person with no power.
Exactly. So, I feel bad for her and I don't get it, but I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
I'm all up in my microphone now.
Yay, I'm excited.
Hello, microphone.
I'm going to sit back.
All right, enjoy your wine as I present to you the life and death of Catherine Voisin, or the famous Affaire des Poison.
Ooh.
So, I thought, since we talk a lot about like non-witch women getting persecuted for witch-related accusations, yes, it might be fun to talk about someone who for sure did it.
Yay! Awesome. I was really hoping.
Yeah, I think so. This is, all right. So this is also set in the 1600s.
Oh, nice.
Kate, imagine this.
Okay.
It's the 1600s.
I'm there.
We're in Paris.
Ooh, nice.
France is the #1 power in Europe, and America is a brand new colony, spreading disease and killing locals.
Right.
The king is Louis XIV, the Sun King, the guy who solidified an absolute monarchy within France and built French stuff throughout France's many colonies. He's not great. That was bad. But right now we're in Paris, and wokeness hasn't been invented yet.
Okay. I mean, that all checks out.
I'm only telling you about Louis XIV because he's in this story.
Okay.
But also it gives you a little bit of the atmosphere.
I feel like I'm there. I'm walking
France
along
is on top of the world.
Yeah.
People like Louis, sort of.
Yeah.
It's not the people in the colonies, but like we focus in on a woman. Ooh. Her name, Catherine de Chay. She was born Catherine de Chay in 1640. She's now actually Catherine Voisin, having taken the last name of her husband, Antoine, whose trade business has recently bankrupted the family.
Oh boy.
She has a daughter named Marguerite, but Margot is not important until later.
Okay.
When we join our friend Catherine, she's in her early to mid-20s and realizing that she's going to have to keep this whole family afloat. She's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Antoine's not making any money, and he's maybe not intending to.
Damn.
Her mom's still around. She has to support her mom. She's got this deadbeat husband. She's got at least one kid. We know about Marguerite, but it sounds like there might have been more. Like, some of the records are like her kids, or like her children.
I feel like back then you were kind of like, you had to just keep turning them out.
Yeah, it's the 1660s.
There's no birth control.
Who fucking knows?
Yeah. Yeah. You had them and they died. Or they didn't.
Catherine, fortunately, has a skill. She can read palms, she can read faces, and she's always felt like she has intuitive powers. She's got like a skill for fortune telling, or at least like reading people.
Lovely.
Yeah. So she's like, cool, I'm going to make a living out of this. And she does. She becomes actually pretty much the most famous fortune teller in Paris, which is at the time like teeming with fortune tellers.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, all of the like aristocracy are very into fortune tellers right now. They're going to fortune tellers being like, make the hot duke fall in love with me, kill my dumbass husband, etc., etc. So our friend Kathy gets rich and famous, and the people of Paris give her a nickname, which is La Voisin, because of her last name, Voisin. But La Voisin just means like the neighbor, like the person that lives next door, kind of thing.
Oh, nice! I love that nickname.
Yeah,
that's
cool,
so
right?
Cute. Yeah.
And so she, like, it's like the mid 1660s. She's just starting to get famous. She takes clients all day. And then she has parties in her garden at night with violin music. She is living the life.
I know. That sounds amazing.
She was born in 1640, so she's in her mid-20s.
Amazing.
She's got a daughter named Marguerite, but that's fine. She's known to have had at least 6 lovers, like official lovers. One of whom tried to convince her to kill her husband, and then she was like, yeah. And then she was like, actually, nah.
That's so French. I love it.
Yeah. So before we get too far into it, there are 2 complicating factors to the rest of this story. One is that she struggles with alcoholism, and this is a known thing, so sometimes people use it against her. So there's some like unreliable testimony.
Gotcha.
And 2 is that she provides abortion services, which
not cool back then. Or now.
So yeah, actually, interestingly, when they started digging into her later, which we'll get to, Louis XIV heard about them looking into her abortion business and was like, don't look at that. And then, like, so she never got in trouble for that. They were like, he was like, ignore it. For whatever that means. But yes, because people are not super cool with abortions always, which they should be, very pro-choice, give to Planned Parenthood. It's not all they do. They're an important service. But so there's a lot of testimony like, I saw her kill a baby for a ritual. She has 2,500 tiny skeletons.
Oh,
and,
my God.
She crushes up bones for potions. And
naturally,
honestly, it's not 100% clear whether or not any of that is true. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
But it's probably not the case.
Yeah.
Strong, probably not.
Yeah.
Take with grain of salt.
Gotcha.
But she did do some like magical ritual stuff that they called black masses. Which could theoretically have included sacrifice, but we have nothing from her directly about that. Okay. It's just people after she died being like, oh yeah, I saw her bleed out a baby over a bowl. And it's like,
oh my God.
So, yeah, which is fucked.
Jesus Christ.
And again, not what Planned Parenthood does.
Right.
Give women a choice. Yes. Because even when it's not legal, someone's going to figure out how to do it, just like this.
Yeah. My body, my choice.
Yep. Either way, she's a midwife. She hooks people up with abortions. Mostly the abortions are provided by another lady, and Kathy, like, takes a big chunk of the fee. She was not necessarily a nice person, but she did understand the importance of referrals to business.
Yeah. Hey, she's making her money. She's looking out for number one. She's got to provide for her family.
Yeah. And, like, abortions are an important service, and someone's got to do it. She's got to hook up with the people.
Well, I'm sure also, you know, it's like the fee helps pay for the risk. Like,
right.
You know.
Yeah. Anyway, so she buys a red velvet robe with golden eagles on it. She studies a lot. She beefs up her fortune telling.
Whoa, you skated past that super fast. I'm sorry. She bought what?
She would wear this long red velvet robe with golden eagles embroidered on it, which I want, by the way.
That sounds amazing, and also sounds something I could totally see you rocking.
This woman is so extra in a very positive way, and also sometimes in a maybe negative way.
I'm like already on board. Wait, what color was the robe? It was red?
Red. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, long red velvet robe for her. For all of her magic doing and fortune telling.
Eagles.
I know. She was just like all in.
Mwah.
It cost 1,500 livra, and I have no idea whether that's a lot or a little amount of money for that
and
time.
that was back in...
I feel like it must have been a lot, or else they wouldn't have written it down.
Yeah. It's probably
if it was like $20, they'd be like, all right, she had a rope.
We should Google how much that is in today's money.
Oh, yeah. We'll add that as an addendum later.
Okay, yeah. Continue. That's
all right,
amazing.
So it's like now 1665, 1666. Again, she's in her like mid-20s. And I'm going to use a direct quote from my friend Wikipedia. Her divination was questioned by the congregation of the mission at the St. Vincent de Paul's order, and she was called in for questioning at this point. But La Voisin defended herself successfully before the professors at the Sorbonne and was allowed to continue her business as a fortune teller.
Amazing.
Yeah, she came in and
what
like, I don't know what the fuck she said, but they were like, all right, she won. Let her do the thing.
She's like, I know how each and every one of you are going to die.
Right, yeah.
And they were like, dismissed.
Yeah. She like gave them all of their death dates on
She's like, look,
she wrote it on a cake for them.
I can tell the future and you're gonna let me go.
Right. Yeah. Interesting strategy.
That's a thinker.
All right. And I don't know if that like emboldened her or if she was just like exploring her craft and looking for ways to make more money. But from there she starts to get into allegedly black magic, quote unquote.
Okay.
So she starts off, like, when she starts off, she's, like, dealing with, you know, she does the fortune-telling thing, and then she notices that a lot of her clients are like, I really want so-and-so to fall in love with me. I really want my husband to drop dead.
Right.
And she's like, well, if God wills it. And then she starts being like, well, if God wills it, and maybe, like, do a specific thing, or, like, go to this specific saint's altar or whatever, like, go to this saint's church. Mm-hmm. And then she gets into, like, selling amulets and other magical objects. And then she starts getting into rituals and, like, selling... like these black masses that they called them, but it was like where she had like a either defrocked or just like renegade priest working with her, where they would have like a naked lady lie on the altar, and then they would do like these like rituals to communicate with Satan and ask him for things.
My eyes are so big right now.
This is the juiciest story. I loved reading about this.
Love it, of course.
Literally, it gets so crazy.
Oh my god, I'm so into this.
Okay, so anyway, so she does these blood sacrifices. There are rumors that she used, like, the dead babies from her midwifery and abortion business.
As you do.
I don't know. I feel like probably not, but again, it's the 1600s, baby. You do what you want.
It's Paris. It's 1600s. Go nuts.
There's a naked lady on your altar. Anyway, she
what
got
do they
weird,
do
I
with
guess.
the naked lady?
I think they do the sacrifice over her body and like cover it in blood.
That's hot.
Or like in whatever liquid they're using.
Some American Horror Story.
I know, right?
That's great.
This lady would make such a great show.
Yes.
You know?
Oh
I think
my God.
there's like a manga based on her apparently, which I would love to find and read.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. There's like a Canadian, like Francophone Canadian show called Versailles that she's apparently a character in, which I would love to watch at some point. Although I assume it's in French, so I'd have to like brush up my French. But yeah, that would be a healthy way to do it.
Translate for me because I don't know any French at
all. Yeah, well, we'll get subtitles.
Okay, deal.
Anyway, so then from there, she starts selling love powders and then love potions and like aphrodisiacs, and then she gets into selling straight up poison.
Naturally.
Like killing you fatal poison.
Wow.
And that's not alleged. She for sure did that. And in fact, she becomes the ringleader of a group of Paris fortune tellers who all sell poison. And she has like a bunch of poison suppliers and friends who are in on it and stuff.
Wow. This has become like a Breaking Bad story.
It's wild. All because her stupid husband couldn't get his jewelry business to work.
What was his name?
Antoine.
Damn it, you, Antoine.
Right.
This is all your fault.
All right. And believe it or not, this is actually kind of where things get juicy.
Just now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So 2 things are happening at once. 1, everybody was like cool with fortune tellers and black magic or whatever, but then the priests felt like they had to get involved because people kept coming into confession to confess that they were poisoning people.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
People were coming in and doing their confession and being like, also, I did poison somebody. And the priests are like, we got to tell the king about this.
Wow.
So there's like a big poisoning problem going on. So the priests are like, yo, king, this should maybe stop. And he's like, okay, no poisoning people. And then they start trying to track down and arrest people that are selling the poison.
What kind of poison was it?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
But I feel like the information was there. I just didn't click in further.
It was like a real poison, though. People were dying. It wasn't like a fake. She wasn't like selling like oregano to middle schoolers under the guise of weed.
Yeah, I don't think so. She
Okay.
had like the priest that she worked with was a chemist.
Okay.
And then she had like a supplier that was like a different lady who was, it sounds like maybe a little more, oddly enough, like respectable and like legit, maybe like an apothecary kind of person.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of natural herbs that are poisonous.
Yeah. Like La Voisin herself, it sounds like didn't really know what she was doing because she tried, this was like a footnote and I didn't look into it anymore, but she tried to poison someone and it didn't work because they had immunity and she didn't know that.
Oh,
and they were like, and if she'd been a real poison expert, she would have known. It's like in the Wikipedia, I was like, what is this part? I'm going to skip this for now.
Yeah, that seems like editorializing. Okay.
Yeah. Anyhowsers. So while this is going on, La Voisin is working with a longtime client to straight up murder poison the king. I will explain. So La Voisin got a client named Madame de Montespan in 1667. So back in her early, like, getting famous days.
Yeah.
And like at this point, we're talking about 1679. So it's been a little more than a decade. Madame Montespan, or full name Françoise Athénée de Rochechouart de Montmartre, Marquise of Montespan.
Damn, that was good job.
Thanks. Is from one of the most noble families in France. And in 1667, she came to Cathy to be like, hey, listen, I want the king. I want to be the king's love person. The king is married.
Gotcha.
But she's like,
stop people.
I want to fuck that king.
Yeah.
And La Voisin was like, cool, we can do that. We'll do a black mass. It'll be great. Satan will provide. And Madame was like, cool. And that same fucking year, Madame dances with the king and then becomes his official #1 mistress, which is a job at this point in France that comes with its own apartment and title.
Amazing.
Honestly,
great.
Right.
How do I get that gig?
So she is his #1 mistress for the rest of up until 1679.
Wow.
Has 7 kids that are like legitimate and recognized by him.
Fuck.
And so whenever things are like not going well with Louis, she's like, hey, La Voisin. Hey, Cathy. I'm going to need your help.
Hey, girl.
Hey, so. And then, so like in 1673, his eye starts to wander a little and they get together and do another whatever it is, ritual thing. Mm-hmm. And then, Cathy gives her an aphrodisiac, and then I wrote down for Mr. Maximum Mayor, You get the idea. All right, so now we're back in 1679.
Okay.
That's the client. Totally separate from the priest ratting on our poison queens. Louis' eye is starting to wander to some younger mistress model, and Madame is like, hey, I'm not joking, I'll actually kill you. And he's like, haha, cool. Anyway, you're now the head of my wife's household or some bullshit position like that.
Right. Because she's like 30 now. So.
Right. Actually, yeah, pretty much. And Angelique de Fontaine, who's the girl that he was like, boy, is now mistress number one. He's like, I'm going to need you to get out of the apartment by the 29th so we can repaint and spackle before she moves in. So Madame's like, great, I'm going to murder you. So she goes to La Voisin. She's like, hey, buddy, I'm here to hire you to murder the king. And La Voisin and her friends are like, whoa, okay. They're like, they have a long conversation. Some of them are like, I really don't want to do this. La Voisin's like, this is a really bad idea. And then she thinks about it and she's like, fuck it, we're doing this. So in the end, they do take the gig. They make a petition to bring to the king that's got like poison-laced paper. It would be like the thing that he would have to read, like if they were requesting something. And they go, but he's got like too much mail and too many petitions that day, so they don't get to give it to him.
Oh wow!
So the plan is foiled.
Wait, poison-laced paper?
Yeah, they had like put like
that's some fairy tale shit.
I know. It was like I think they covered the paper in something that like if he then like touched his eyes or mouth or something. I don't know.
Like
it's asbestos. A pretty yeah. I don't know. That might it seemed a little far fetched. Maybe they were like,
no, I love
we
it.
don't know how much we want to murder the king.
It reminds me of like those old grim like fairy tales though, where like the real like Snow White or whatever, or they had poison-laced corsets or poison-laced things, and then you just touch them and you die.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's...
Humans were so fragile back then.
Right, yeah, they just fucking die sometimes. Anyway, so they don't get to kill the king. It's a poison fail.
Aww.
Excuse me, it's a poison fail. They're also supposed to kill the new mistress, who, by the way, it turns out was 17.
Oh
what
my
the fuck?
Gosh. Of course. I'm surprised she's not 14.
Right, they bail on that plan, and then, just a coincidence, she dies 2 years later anyway of natural causes. Maybe related to childbirth, but people don't really know. But they initially everyone was like poison, but then like they did like much later they were like, we're gonna use new technology to check if she was poisoned, and they were like, oh fuck, it's natural.
But was it? Isn't witchcraft natural?
Could be witchcraft. Anywho, so now happens to be when the arrests start happening, just because the priests are like, hey, there's a lot of poison going around this town.
Yeah.
And the king has no idea that they literally just tried to kill him. He's just mad because maybe somebody poisoned his sister-in-law, it sounds like, and killed her, like in 76. Anyway, royals used to be like a lot more fun. Watching the royals these days, yawn. Anyway. But yeah, and there was also like, so parallel, there's like a riot going on about people accusing witches and abducting children and stuff. Because I think that it's a popular, like, she's a witch, she took my baby and, like, bled it out over a bowl thing. Which is why I think she probably, La Voisin probably wasn't doing that shit.
When in reality, was it just that children were dying because it's, like, the 1600s?
Yeah, right. It's just, like, things are bad.
Yeah.
And, like, if she was just running an abortion clinic, she might have had some baby skeletons in her backyard, but, like,
right.
They were, like, the normal kind. Anyway, and then, so in 1677, there had been a fortune teller arrested for poisoning, and then she was like, I have information about crimes of high importance.
The one that was arrested.
Yeah, and then like, two more fortune tellers and poisoners got arrested in January of 1679. And then they were like, yo, guys, there's a whole network of fortune tellers in Paris dealing poison.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when things start to get like, people are like getting arrested and things.
That's hilarious.
So then, yes. So Marie Bosse and Marie Vigoureux are two fortune tellers and poisoners. They were arrested in January of 1679. And they're like, hey, police, there's a whole bunch of us.
I love that there's this network of just poison dealers.
Isn't this wild that this all happened?
Everyone in France is like, you stepped on my toe, I'm going to poison you.
Yeah, people are just poisoning people left and right so much that all the priests get together and they're like, hey, have you been hearing confession about poisoning?
That's hilarious. It's like the new street drug.
Right.
But it's poison.
But it's to kill other people. The new street drug is murder most foul.
That's amazing.
Anyway, so on the 12th of
That's
March,
a whole mood, as the kids say.
1679, La Voisin is arrested as part of this whole ring thing. outside of church, which she was coming out of after hearing mass.
Oh, gosh. How embarrassing.
How embarrassing. How much do you want to bet that she for sure knew that that was going to happen? Like, I feel like that's a straight up mafia boss move to, like, go to church and, like, have them wait outside for you to, like...
Yes. And then, like, all the press, like, sees you coming out of church, a pious woman being arrested.
Right, yeah.
Oh my God, she was totally a mafia boss. I love this woman.
And this was actually right before she was supposed to have a meeting with someone about trying again to kill the king. Oh my God. Her, like, poison supplier, Catherine, who was also named Catherine. How funny is that? Trianon, though. Anyway, so in April of 1679, they have, like, a commission, and it takes, like, a whole bunch of time. They're, like, making records and all these things. So on February 17th, Voisin is put on trial and is convicted of witchcraft to execution by burning for, like, 2 days later. It's like...
Shit.
Yeah, they have 2 days and until she's going to be burned. And she's formally interrogated, and they're given the order that they can torture her. But the police were apparently, like, supposed to understand that the permit was not to be used, and people say that she was never actually tortured because they were so afraid of what she knew about the aristocracy and that she'd say it and it would have to be recorded.
Oh, shit, yeah.
That they were, like, given the order, like, you can torture her, for sure torture her, wink, wink.
Yeah, but don't.
For serious, we don't want any more information than, like, she's already going to be put to death, like.
Oh, damn. Yeah. She knew everyone's secrets.
Yeah, she knew everyone's secrets.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But so after she's been executed, they arrest her daughter, Marguerite. She's back, baby.
Marguerite's back.
Because they're like, we're just going to arrest everybody who was involved in this thing and, like, put them all in prison.
Jesus.
And the daughter's like, Marguerite just, like, spills the fucking beans. She's like, they tried to kill the king. It was because of his mistress, who's still technically the mistress at this point. For whatever reason, or she's, like,
not
still
number one,
she's, like, in the hierarchy.
Yeah, he still
and, like,
hooks
also,
her up from time
like,
to
she
time.
has 7 legitimate kids with him.
Yeah,
like,
she's his baby mama.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, the information is so juicy that Louis, like, puts, like, basically like like, they just lock down the information about the trial, like, put on a moratorium. They don't finish the trial. They instead do, like, I forget what the name of it is, but basically he has, like, an order from the king to just put everyone in prison with, like, no trial.
Oh, shit.
And so they're just locked away forever.
Monarchies, man.
From, like, this ring. And yeah, so it's all just classified. He's just like, holy fuck, makes it all classified. And then he and Madame have a long chat, and she just moves. She's moved to a convent outside of Paris for the rest of her life, and is like...
Marguerite.
No. Madame, what's her face?
Wait, she didn't get executed?
No. The mistress, he was like, listen, could you leave town after this whole thing? And she was like, yeah. And so
the mistress wasn't executed.
Right, the mistress wasn't executed. And Marguerite wasn't executed either. She just died in prison eventually, but we don't know when. Mm-hmm. Like, they just put all the women from this on an island and just, like had them be in prison. Like, the fortune-telling ring.
Gotcha. Was all just, like, put on an island?
Yeah, they were just put in prison on an island.
I wonder how supervised they were. Because if they weren't very supervised, that sounds like a really nice vacation.
Yeah, well, I think they were in prison, but they were not, like, cuffed or anything. They were allowed to, like, hang out. Yeah. And apparently... Wait, I'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
So, yeah, so he's like, listen to his mistress. This kind of sucks. This is, like, if people hear about this, they're going to be pretty up in arms about it. Yeah. Anyway, you could lay low for the rest of your life. Right. And she was like, yeah, all right. I'll go live in, like, the countryside. Yeah. I'll be a nun, quote unquote.
I'll go make butter, whatever.
Which her sister, he had made an abbess just because at one point, I think. She wanted it, maybe. She'd been a nun for, like, 6 years, and he was like, guess what? You're an abbess now.
Nice.
So, like, they're, like, nun sisters hanging out in the Parisian countryside.
That sounds lovely.
And, like, as a thanks for her leaving, he makes her brother mayor.
This king seems very inconsistent.
And her dad also gets something. I forget what all the different, like...
Sure, why not?
And... Yeah, and then so Marguerite does die in prison anyway at an unknown time, but we know that she was still alive as of 1687 because there was a report that she and the other ladies who were in the prison on this island were given braziers for the winter.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
And that's like the last thing anyone knows about her. The only other thing we know about their life in prison is that they had lady guards because they were too sexy and they were afraid they'd try to seduce their way out because they weren't being held down.
Wow. So it was like a pure, like, woman-only Amazonian, like, prison island.
I guess, yeah.
And they get bras
sure
for the winter.
It sucked, but at the same time...
But, like, also...
It sounds... I don't know, like, Napoleon was on that island, like, in prison, right?
Right.
Wasn't he just, like, hanging out writing letters in a house?
Oh,
being slowly poisoned to death, but like,
right.
Who wasn't?
I mean, exactly. Apparently, everyone was then.
Right. And that is the story of La Voisin and the affair de Poison.
That's crazy. I feel bad that she got executed.
Yeah,
though. That's a bummer.
Isn't that wild? She got executed at 40, so she pulled all that off in 40 years.
That's impressive. She's
and
a real
can't
Beyonce.
Even buy a house.
And she was burned at the stake. They burned them at the stake. Is that what you said? Damn.
Yes, execution by burning. So I assume it was at the stake.
That's rough.
Yeah, sucks.
That's how the mighty fall.
Yeah. But at least she like got some. She had some fun in the meantime.
She had some fun. She got that red velvet robe.
Yeah.
With golden eagles.
Yeah, none of that Puritan bullshit.
I would love, like, it would be so cool to talk to some of these women in history. Like, if we could just be like, hey, real quick. Yeah. Like, tell us your side. Yeah.
Which, I mean, also, it's 1680, 40s, the ripe old age.
I know.
Well, not quite, but.
Yeah, the body probably aged pretty quickly back then.
Yeah, what with all the syphilis and everything.
And there's no oil-based serums, you know. Well, that was a great story, Emily.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yes, I loved it.
I don't know why. I had fun.
I just told you it's a great story.
Learning it.
No, I love this woman.
Long and short of it, those are our stories.
Yeah, those are our stories.
So at the end of every episode, we do a tarot card drawing.
Yeah, we like to just pull a card from a deck and
just any old card from any old deck
and talk about what it means.
Today I have my Moon Power tarot deck.
Yes.
And we're gonna draw a card. This
I'm
is all
excited.
warmed up. Do you want to choose or?
Sure. I'm trusting my gut, and look at what I pulled.
Oh, cute!
It's the Lovers, which is your card, right?
Yeah, my life card.
That's your life. According
and also my other one, I forget what it's called.
Your lesson?
Yeah. And the Lovers is mine.
Yeah, and the Lovers is
the
Emily.
Lovers.
And mine is the Chariot. But I love this, and this is the card that drew you to this deck.
Yeah, I was looking for
in the first
cool
place.
deck, and I found this one, and I liked it.
It's awesome. It's like two femme presenting beings.
Yeah,
lighting,
blue,
human, with blue hair.
Edwards.
What is in their mouth? It's like cigarettes?
Matches.
Oh, matches, and they're both held to one another.
And they're lit.
It's like scary, sexy Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
We'll post a picture on our Instagram. But very cool. So, what does this mean? What does your book say?
We've talked in the past about this being about like choosing the self and like love and attraction, but not just like sexual attraction, but like what you're attracted to, and then like ethical and moral choices is what my book says also.
Yes.
Because it's all about like loving something and like choosing to take care of yourself in order to better take care of it, or like otherwise, you know, thinking about choices.
Yeah.
But also in like a loving, like light way, kind of.
Right. It's also, you know, I think it's an early part of the Fool's journey through the major arcana. Right. And so I think, you know, we talked about this with June in our major arcana episode, but it's not just about love, romantic love, you know, which I would argue is more likely to be kind of the Two of Cups.
Right.
But it is more about choice and relationships, values, choices. So according to Biddy, our good friend Biddy, in its purest form, the Lover's card represents conscious connections and meaningful relationships. The arrival of this card in a tarot reading shows that you have a beautiful, soul-honoring connection with a loved one. You may believe you have found your soulmate or life partner, and the sexual energy between you both goes way beyond instant gratification and lust to something that is very spiritual and almost tantric. While the Lover's card typically refers to a romantic tie, it can also represent a close friendship or a family relationship where love, respect, and compassion flow. It's a card of open communication and raw honesty. And so I think, you know, one way to read this is also about communicating openly in that bond with yourself as well.
Yeah.
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 I love it.
Love it.
Love the lovers.
Love the lovers. I'm sorry, I keep doing the SNL sketch. They're like, we're lovers. You know, they're in that hot tub.
Yes.
Though the surface waters of this hot tub may seem calm, underneath there is a flurry of activity.
It's a great sketch.
It's a great sketch. You should look it up.
Will Ferrell and Rachel Dratch. So that'll, I think, do it for us.
Yeah, that's the whole ep.
This episode. I was gonna say Ep2, and I was like, this feels weird. But please, like I said, we're gonna post photos of both Tituba and the French lady whose name I can't pronounce. Mm-hmm. What's her name? La Voisin. Catherine on our Instagram. And,
Katie.
Katie. And we'll also post a picture of this tarot card. So please follow us on Witchcast Podcast. And then also you can
email us at witchcastpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can check out our website, which is witchcastpodcast.com.
Correct.
And you can give us a little rating and reviewing.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. It helps other people find us. And the more people that find us, the more we can learn together.
Yeah, just a little friendly reminder.
We really appreciate all the positive feedback we've been getting.
Yeah, and thank you so much to those of you who have done it.
Yes. Oh, also, if you want to suggest any topics for us to cover.
Yeah, we love that shit.
Yeah, like our last episode before this with runes was suggested by a friend of the podcast and a listener, Sarah. And so, like, we're happy to take suggestions. Please hit us up via, email or Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, and give us that 5-star rating.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And until next time.
Hex yeah!
'Cause it's Witchcast.
What? You also can't put a giant dick on your robot husband.
Why don't you put pants over it?
Yeah, but why?
I don't think that's a rule.
Everyone's gonna know that's why there's pants on the robot.
If by this time technology will have advanced that you can have the dildo retract inside and come out as needed.
Unscrew and then put in a different, screw in a different.
Oh my god, it's like replaceable.
Yeah.
Replaceable heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, for depending on your mood, you could do a green one for St. Patrick's Day.